follow recommendations,
Wait,
and also a referral to felony drug court. All right, thank you.
How long am I gonna be gone? When am I-
Thank you, counsel.
Dora Bravo walks into court hoping for deferred probation on a drug possession charge. But this hearing takes a sharp turn when the judge starts asking one question. What will she test positive for today?
For CR 011954, State versus Dora. Dora Bravo, can I have parties announced?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Michael Bellable for Miss Bravo.
And are you Miss Bravo? I'm gonna need you to keep your voice up one so that I can hear and so the court
Yes,
reporter
ma'am.
can hear. Thank you. All right, thank you. So, have you received all discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Bravo, did you review court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Your charge is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
To
ma'am.
review the plea bargain page with your attorney, did you understand it?
Ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at an $800 fine. State recommends supervision, deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2025 AL 005470. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
It is her.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there be any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, community service restitution, no contact with Roberto Avalos Jr. and JCPenney stores, the life skills course, and the anti-theft course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
State offers states 1 and attachments.
No objections.
Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just asked the court follow the recommendation from the state.
All right, are you employed?
Ma'am.
How do you support yourself?
My boyfriend,
Who is your boyfriend?
Pedro
Pedro who?
Diaz.
And what happened to Roberto Avalos?
What do you mean? What happened to him?
I mean, you were in a car with him. Is he no longer in your life?
No, he's incarcerated, but nobody stated that I was dating him. I was just getting a ride from him, ma'am.
All right, did you know him before you accepted a ride from him?
Yes, I did.
All right, and how did you know him?
Friend of family.
Do you have any children?
I do.
What are their ages?
He is 15.
And who is the 15-year-old with?
He is with his uncle and his guardian.
And when you're drug tested today, what are you going to be positive for?
Marijuana.
And what else?
Um,
Now, that's not just about it. Do you want to get drug tested today? So here's the thing. I'm trying to set conditions for you so you'll be successful on probation. In order for me to do that, you need to be honest with me. All right? So if you use before coming to court, that's not a violation of your probation because you were not on probation. So what are you going to be positive for?
drugs.
Well, I wasn't with you. So what type of drugs?
The kind that for methamphetamines.
All right. So when's the last time you used meth?
24 hours ago.
Okay. Do you have any family support?
Yes. Concerned, yes.
All right, who's supporting you as far as someone you can go to help you maintain your sobriety?
My brother,
Your brother?
my oldest brother.
Okay. When's the first time you started using?
In 2017.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is going to do. There's going to be an $800 fine. That will be probated. 3 years deferred adjudication. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be no residing with minors. Taking consideration 2025 AL 005470. There's going to be 100 hours of community service restitution. Once parenting is completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be no contact with Roberto Avalos Jr., no contact with J.C. Penney stores. Counsel, I'm not going to do the anti-theft course because I think the theft course is related to the drug issues. And I think if that problem is solved, then there'll be no need for the other. But I am going to recommend the life skills course. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. In custody, there's to be a TAP evaluation, follow recommendations, and also a referral to felony drug court. Probation is, and field visits, 1 time per month for 6 months. Probation, is there anything else? All right, did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. We can go off the record. This is why you're going in custody. You are extremely high today. And if I allow you to walk out of here, what's going to end up happening is you're going to use more meth.
No.
And who knows what will end up happening. You may get some bad drugs.
Why
but-
couldn't you give me the benefit of the doubt? I just got out on bond. I'm trying
No.
I'm trying to change. I'm doing what I'm.
I know,
supposed
this
to.
is going to help you. All right, thank you.
How long am I gonna be gone? When am I-
Thank you, counsel. It's to help her.
I understand.
And they should be, a felony drug court will probably be able to see her before the week is out.
Okay.
All right.
So she'll be in until the referral is over?
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
Right.
thank
I'll
you.
explain that to her.
Loretta Holmes enters court on an injury to the elderly case, hoping for deferred adjudication. But this case quickly becomes about anger, accountability, restitution, probation rules, and whether she can avoid a possible 10-year prison sentence.
State of Texas versus Larietta Nicole Holmes. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Greg Gameray.
Are you Ms. Holmes? Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with injury to the elderly, bodily injury? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. According to the plea, state is recommending deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2023 CR 8418, and there's to be restitution of $3,700.85 to John Ripley. Did you understand that to be the plea? Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution, no contact with John Ripley or Feather Point Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78233. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plea?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
No objection, John.
And state, have you conferred or spoken to the complainant?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You may be excused. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. My client has obviously, since this case occurred back in July of 22, she's obviously stayed out of trouble, Your Honor. She's been to court. She is going to school. She's becoming a business, nevertheless.
Esthetician.
Currently she works as an esthetician, which is my understanding is skincare. And that's what she does for a living, but she's also going back to school to get her degree in business administration. She has 2 children, a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old that she takes care of. And this is a difficult case, obviously, for her judge. This is a true no contest plea, and this is what she believes is in her best interest. She wants to get off probation as soon as possible, do everything she can, Your Honor. So we just ask you to grant this and let get closure on this.
All right. So, Ms. Holmes, you understand when people ask you to leave their property, whether you think you're being evicted legally or not, it's always best to leave and then just handle things civilly. So if this were a case where you didn't think you were being evicted properly, all you had to do was, you know what? I'm going to file a civil case. And it appears that it is not a civil case that would be filed in district court based upon what the amount is. So you would just go to one of the JP courts and you just file it. And there are plenty of people who file that every day. And that's how you solve that, as opposed to coming here. Now you have all of these extra fees and you have this. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, of course, I always have to ask this question. The piercings underneath the lip, were those painful?
No, ma'am. I
Okay.
didn't get them at the same time either. I got them over a period of time.
So what order did you get them? What was the first one?
I had got this one, I was like 16,
Mhm.
and I got this one, I was like 19, and then I just got this one, and it's just compliments when I smile.
Oh, okay. I'm always wondering. And the tattoos, what are the symbols for those?
It's really not too much no symbols, butterflies, music symbol. I play the piano,
Oh, wow.
Bible verses. I grew up in the church.
See, I always wanted to play the piano, and I was going to take it as an elective in college because everybody's like, it's an easy elective. I'm in a class that's supposed to be for beginners. Everybody in there had a piano at their home and had been playing forever. They were truly taking it as, yes. I couldn't even answer because our professor would say, in order to answer the roll call, you had to play the note he wanted you to play. I'm like, yeah, I'm out of
Drop
here.
that class.
I dropped it, but I dropped it before they were going to give me a W.
There you go.
I saw the writing on the wall before the end of the week. I was like, no.
Judge, as you know, you two that want to learn piano, YouTube will teach you immediately.
All right, we're going to see. Well, don't put professors out of business. All right, so you're currently employed. Okay, so this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. Take in consideration 2023 CR 8418 and state, do you have that? There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's going to be regular random UAs. I always have to tell people who are new to probation, when you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol at all, even at your own home. You're not allowed to do marijuana, even at your own home, because what that's going to result in is that going to result in a positive UA. And people think these are my rules. These are the rules that the legislatures have put in place. So if you're UA today, is everything going to be fine? All right. What's going to be in your system? All right. So we're going to do random UAs and we're going to test for levels. So those levels need to start going down. You understand? And do not, if they file a motion to revoke because your levels are increasing, do not come back to the court saying you were around people who were smoking, because you have children. You shouldn't be around people who are smoking because it gets in your clothes and children end up smelling like marijuana their clothes smell like marijuana, and then children who are at school tend to tease them. And we don't want that. There is to be 150 hours of community service
Can I
restitution.
speak to that, Judge?
Yes.
Is it possible, if she can show semester grades going towards her business administration degree, that can satisfy some of that community service?
I was just about to say,
Thank you, Judge.
thank you. The
ESPN.
community service hour, yeah, we're here. The community service hours will be waived once she provides proof of her BA. And honestly, you should be able to finish that, hopefully, before your community supervision has expired. But if you show the court that you're actually taking classes, and when I say take classes, your attorney will know I will mean this, not just one class a semester. You understand? And I understand that you work. I understand that you have children. So for you, it's going to have to be at least 4 hours a semester. And that's not full time. For this court, at least 8 hours is full time. But because of everything that you have going on in your life, probation, she needs to do at least 4 hours per semester. There's to be anger management. There's to be no contact with John Ripley, the address on Feather Point Road. And there's to be the restitution amount of $3,755.85 to John Ripley. And there's to be field visits one time per month for 2 months. Probation, is there anything else? Thank you. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors.
And Judge, was the fine probated? Is that something I need to address? Or?
There was no fine asked for. You're welcome. Probation, anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right. Do you have any questions? All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes. Once you 336 State versus Larietta. Nicole Holmes, could I have parties announced?
Andrew Harris Ailman for the state.
John Robertson from Miss Holmes.
And are you Miss Holmes?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Larietta Nicole Holmes who was placed on adjudication in 2024 CR 2336 for the offense of injury to an elderly person with bodily injury on June 13, 2024 for a period of 2 years? Is that you? All right. You're going to have to make sure you keep your voice up so that I can hear and the court reporter can hear. State?
In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Larietta Nicole Holmes did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of March and April 2025 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? State?
State waives the remaining violation allegations.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fines? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
You still want to plead true to violation of condition?
All right, so here's the thing. You're going to have to speak up. And you need to speak the way you speak when you're not in court before me. So whatever agreement you think you've worked out with the state, I don't have to follow that agreement because this is a contract and it's a contract with the court. It's not a contract with the state. It's not a contract with the defense. So you pled true to violation of condition number 4. Regardless of what agreement you think you've reached with the state, I can revoke you and sentence you to 10 years in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Knowing that, do you still wish to proceed with this plea of true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, to deny the motion, continue on regular supervision and amend for the following conditions. Immediate placement of GPS monitor for 6 months. Proof of residence or proof of employment with every OV. Don't know what OV stands for. If no proof of employment, then proof of disability. If not on disability, 4 job searches per week, as well as minimum of 12 community service hours performed monthly, immediate enrollment in anger management course, IVR call inline for 4 months, bi-weekly reporting for 4 months.
All right. So here's my question. You want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Larryetta Holmes.
What have you done since you've been on probation?
Since I've been on probation, I did try to finish my classes.
So you didn't finish your classes, you tried to, all right?
For community service, because last time I was here, my lawyer asked if I could use, I was getting my BA,
Mhm.
and he asked if I could use that for community service.
And why didn't you finish that?
A lot in between the time happened, so I did have to drop.
What has happened?
Lights were turned off in November, and it was hard for me to try to get any type of assistance for it because it was overdue and they just turned it off. So in between time, I was trying to find assistance, I was trying to find work, and also trying to maintain my home, and keep up with everything that I could, and also raising my 2 children.
So where are your children now? Who's raising them?
My son, he's with his girlfriend, and my daughter, she's with my sister. She works, my son works. Both of them work, they're both of them in school, and they both get good grades.
Okay. So here's the thing with lights being turned off. Back in the day, people didn't have lights. You turn on a candle. And people always assume that where people are in their station in life is always where they've been. Like they never had financial problems or things happen. I've had my lights turned off before. And you know what? My mom and my grandmother would always say, hey, whatever you do, make sure that you have if you're living in an apartment, make sure that's paid. If you're living in a house, make sure that paid. If the lights get turned off, if the water gets turned off, at least you'll always have a place to stay. So getting your lights turned off, and sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. It's like, I still have a place to stay. Getting lights turned off happens to everybody. I guarantee you, a majority of the people in this courtroom, attorneys included, deputies included, court reporter included, have at some point had some utility turned off. So, and the reason why I'm telling you this story is because you have to reach out to probation and tell them what's going on in your life. Otherwise, you could go to prison for 10 years.
Yes.
And then who's going to be taking care of your children?
Mhm.
Now, what's happening with the new number 1 in this case?
Judge, I can elaborate on that. That is an allegation based on a voicemail that was left with the landlord. Received a copy of the police report. The landlord sent a copy to the court, and that was forwarded to me by Norma. They took a police report based on a voicemail. And last time I looked, a voicemail doesn't rise to a Class C threat.
What?
So anyway, that'll have to be sorted out. I think that's obviously one of the reasons why we're not going on that today. But
All right. So what's happening with this number 1?
that's a municipal court problem.
Okay.
So
All right. So why were you not reporting? That's the easiest thing, to pick up the phone.
I was communicating with my probation officer. I was
Not in March and April.
I was in March and April. I did. I even got kind of scared because he wasn't responding back to me. He never did tell me to come in. Thing that I was going through, far as dealing with the landlord and also dealing with housing, and my life still being not connected. I was communicating with him.
So has she been communicating?
Judge, I can check the notes.
All right.
that's one thing we discussed, Judge, is that communication, however the communication is not a substitute for reporting. And I think Clarice understands that.
And my lawyer did make a good recommendation. He's when, communicating, texting, sometimes it's best for me to go down there. And I didn't know that. To set up an appointment, go down there so I could be seen. And that way it wouldn't be no miscommunications.
This is her first motion to revoke. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to tell you right now. Number 1, when your utilities are disconnected, that's nobody's fault but your own. If my utilities get disconnected because I forgot to pay, that's not their fault. It's not the utility company, it's my fault. Your emergency is not somebody else's priority unless they want to make it their priority. And when you have a landlord and part of your contract with your landlord is you pay rent and you pay utilities, when utilities get cut off, that means that you didn't pay them, or maybe the utility company made a mistake. If the utility company made a mistake, then they will come out and correct it. Now with CPS Energy, if they do that, they can turn it on immediately because they've switched out everybody's meter where they can operate it from in office. But when your utilities are cut off, one thing you do not do is on your own try to cut them back on or tamper with meters or anything of that nature. Do you understand?
I would never do that. I don't want to.
No, okay, here's the thing. Don't say that because that's what's in the police reports and everything. And the other thing is, it is clear from the court, based upon what you're on probation for, that you do have an anger issue. And it appears from the court that you don't know how to address your angers when things don't go your way other than lashing out at other people. That is going to stop. Otherwise, you're looking at 10 years in prison. Then the 10 years in prison, you can try and lash your anger out at other inmates. And you know what's going to end up happening? Somebody at the prison, somebody at the jail is going to be badder than you. And they're going to unleash anger on you. So if you don't want that to happen, then you had better change your ways. And this bullying thing that maybe you're doing with people that are older than you because you're on deferred adjudication for injury to the elderly, that's going to stop. And your landlord says that they're 57 and they have a disability and they're having to deal with you. So if you were living at that property, you don't have to worry about not having lights at that property because the court is no longer going to allow you to live at that property and you're no longer going to be allowed to have contact with her. If you have contact with her, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
See, and I don't know why you're giving me that attitude now. You know what you did to Miss Holmes, that breathing hard. No, that breathing hard thing. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's not going to be tolerated here. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
It's time for you to start showing respect to people, whether you think they're worthy of it or not, because you're landlord. Whether you think they're worthy of it or not, you need to show respect to them because you're living on their property in their house and they can take that away. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you need to start behaving differently so that your children will know the proper way to communicate and it's not through violence. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you're going to start completing the conditions of your probation immediately. And when you are released, if you don't start enrolling in these programs and completing them, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The court will deny the motion. Alternate men conditions, items you'll need to have someone other than yourself go over there and go with the police escort to retrieve your items. You are not allowed to call her or have third parties call her or have third parties contact her other than that one time when that person goes to the location, if you have items there and they need to go there with the police escort. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to start your anger management classes and probation. What is the earliest she can start anger management?
Give her 30 days.
All right, anger management class are to begin within 30 days. Do you have a disability?
No, ma'am.
All right, she doesn't have a disability, so there needs to be there's no proof of disability needed. You're going to need to get a job. That's how people make it in this world. Nobody's depending on somebody else to pay their bills. You're going to get a job. And if you need to get 2 jobs to make a full-time job, then that's what you're going to need to do. So I'm going to require a full-time job. And for the court, full-time employment means at least 40 hours a week. If you want to get 2 part-time jobs, 20 hours each, that's fine. But you're going to work. And there are plenty of places for you to find employment. But sometimes people think certain employment is beneath them. No employment is beneath you because we all need doctors. We all need people who are going to pick the fruit. We all need people who are going to work at HEB or work the fries at McDonald's. There's no shame in that. It's a legitimate job. So, proof of full-time employment within 45 days. All right, partial GPS for employment. And GPS is until further notice. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? All right, you better do better. Otherwise, you're looking at going to prison for potentially 10 years. From here on out, we can go off the record, from here on out, anything that you do, you need to ask yourself before you do it, is this something that could result in me potentially going to prison for 10 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it unless you want to potentially go to prison for 10 years. If your answer is, well, maybe it could, don't do it because you could potentially go to prison for 10 years. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you. Hello. Oh, so here's the thing. When someone says hello, there's usually a response back. So let me just tell you what's going on. You're being rude and disrespectful to your probation officer. You act like you're not on probation. When I say there's to be no contact, there's to be no contact. And now you're using profanity towards probation officer like you're not on probation and that this is somehow his fault. It is not. It's all your fault. You're here because you're on deferred adjudication for injuring someone who's an elderly person. That's why you're here. You're not on probation because he placed you on probation. You're not on probation because he committed a crime and you're taking the time for him. You're here because of your actions and you're acting as though none of this is your fault. This is all your fault, 100%.
I'm not acting like none of it's my fault, and I take accountability for what I've done.
No, you have not taken accountability. Did you take accountability for using profanity towards him?
No, I didn't.
And I don't know why people think that when you're in a situation where you should be using logic to find what are using your cognitive skills to decide how I'm going to proceed with this, instead, you go after your probation officer. And the probation officer, let's be honest, every defense attorney will tell you a probation officer holds your life in their hands because you know what? Let's say you're supposed to report to probation at 9 a.m. and you end up reporting at 9:05. Guess what? You have not reported at 9 a.m. A probation officer could say, hey, that's a no report. But sometimes they may take sympathy on you and say, I realize what's going on. They're here, but they don't have to do that.
Yes.
And you using profanity towards a probation officer is not helping your case at all.
And I understand that. Then the reason why I did, and I just said the F word because he called me a liar. And when I didn't lie to him about any situation that was going on, I sent them all the information from my legal aid lawyer. I sent them everything. He even gave me his personal number for me to contact him. When I had to go to the emergency room and had to get a blood transfusion, he even offered to take me there. He called.
This is not your blood. This is not about your blood.
I know it's not about my blood, but it's he basically, when I went to go see him, he was telling me that I lied to him, which I never lied to him about anything.
No. This starts with you wanting to go to a location where I said you are not allowed to have contact. That's where all of this came up. Then everything snowballs into something else.
Yes, ma'am. And I did exactly what you told me to. I didn't go to that location. I filed my police reports. I did everything that I could do without going to that location.
All right, so then that was it. I don't know. What do you expect him to do? Like, I like for people to just put their cards on their times. People were like, judge, but I like everybody to have an understanding. So you go to him because you want to go to a location and retrieve items when I told you couldn't go to that location. So we're back to the point. What did you want him to do?
I asked him, was there any assistance or any way that I could? He told me, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He told me he didn't know, he couldn't help me. So I didn't have no other choice but to call the police, make a police report. I had my daughter, she's 16 years old, to go there. When she went there, she took pictures of everything that was outside.
All right, so again, what did you want him to do? He said, hey, I don't know. There's nothing I can do for you.
When I contacted Miss Adams, she told me to ask my probationer if there's any assistance that he can help me or provide without going to that location.
And he's saying no.
And he said no. And I told him I don't have no other choice. My children is 16 and 18. They didn't have the money. They don't have money for you all. My daughter just quit her job because no one was able to take her to work. So I didn't have nobody else to help me get
So
any-
again, I don't know how this translates into you using profanity against him. He's like, I can't help you. And honestly, it's not his job to help you get your things. Really, you know what a probation officer's job really is? And they'll correct me if I'm wrong, but their job is to make sure that you abide by your conditions. Everything else that they're doing is just extra, but that's not their job. It's not, for example, if you can't pay your utilities, it's not their job to find places for you to pay utilities. They'll do it. They'll say, here's some places that you can call. But that's not his job. And if he tells you, I can't help you with getting your things, again, we're back to the point. He says, I can't help you. So what do you want him to do? He's like, I can't help you.
And
How does that translate into using profanity against him? And then telling him, sending him an email, telling him all this is his fault and it's on his shoulders. It's not. All of this happened because of you. Guess what? You can't go to that location because you injured an elderly person. That's why it's all your fault. And there are consequences for all our actions.
It is. And I communicated with him. I told him everything. I sent every case number. I even sent him my legal aid information. I sent everything. I tried to do everything the right way before it even went out of hand.
But see, here's what you don't understand, and you're not internalizing what I'm saying. He is telling you, I can't help you with that. And you still keep going back to him. He's already told you, I can't help you with that. Giving him numbers to your legal aid, giving him numbers to this person saying, we're trying to help her get her things. He can't help you with that. His whole role is to supervise you on probation. That's it. He can't say, you know what I'm going to do? I tell you what, let me go over there and get your things for you. He can't do that. That's not his job. Now, if he offers to do that, great, but he doesn't have to. He has told you more than once, I cannot help you with that. I still don't understand how that goes and translates into you using profanity against him. His job is hard as it is. And then to have somebody come in and use profanity against them, that's an issue. And then to have you go into that location when you know you're not supposed to, that's an
I
issue.
never did go to the location. I didn't. I had to call the police for a different location. To make
All right, so you called the police and then what happened?
I made the police report. I went down to the property. I also went down to 315, the headquarters, to fill out all the information because the day I was arrested, everything was stolen. My car, my credit cards, everything. So I'm trying to do everything that I have to do the best way that I can, the right way.
All right, the right way is not using profanity against your probation officer. That's not the right way. The right way is not being disrespectful. And you know what? This whole thing with the injury to the elderly, where are the anger management? You do have an anger problem because when people tell you no, you can't accept that. You take it to 100. He said, I can't help you with that. And then you use profanity against him. You're calling him all sorts of names. Nobody likes to be called out there, give a name.
I didn't call him out his name. I just said it was fine. I didn't have no other choice. So I would have to figure it out.
No. We're not here because you said it was just fine. Where is the officer? If you could come forward, please.
It's like,
Right. Wanted to let the
All right. So you're Officer Wolf?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let me ask you a question. Are you able to go to her former location and get her items for her? No.
No, ma'am.
That's your answer, no. Are you able to file a police report for her so she can get her items?
No, ma'am.
So he can't do that. So what do you want from him?
I have to do it on my own. So if there's something he can help me with, and then that's
Well, see, that's the thing. Now, when you're before me and you're looking at potentially going to prison, now you're like, oh, well, he can't help me with that. He's told you that. Be an adult, solve your own problems. This is supposed to be problem solving. That's why you're on probation, for anger management issues, because you can't problem solve. I don't know, maybe you never were taught to problem solve, but if he's telling you, no, he can't do that, that's not in his job description, then there's no need to use profanity against him. He's told you, I can't do it.
Judge, if I could
Yes.
speak for a minute. Throughout my time working with Ms. Holmes, it's been pretty apparent that she has a pattern of not taking responsibility or accountability for her behavior. This last incident just kind of made it painfully obvious how there's a deeper issue.
Mhm.
There's a heart issue. Until she can get her heart right, this pattern of behavior is going to continue for her throughout her life.
Mhm.
And she's going to continue to be a danger to herself, to the community, to her victim, everybody. She needs to get her heart right and realize that choices and actions have consequences, good and bad, intended and unintended, anticipated, unanticipated. And until she gets her heart right and realizes that, this is just going to continue.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming down.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're going to have to start using your cognitive skills and your problem solving. That's it. When somebody tells you they can't do something, then they can't do it. If somebody tells you, no, I can't take you to the grocery store today, figure it out. He is not really responsible for anything outside of his job description. If he does something outside of his job description, that's just probation officers being nice.
And I understand that. But why would you offer to try to help me when I'm asking for some type of help? And then you tell me you can't help me.
Yeah, he said no. Let me just tell you, here's a perfect example. And I've been in situations where people have told me no. And my thing is, I want you to not send me place to place. If the answer is no, just tell me no and I'll figure it out. He told you no. If I ask him right now, like for example, I had to rush here this morning because I don't like being late and I was filling in for somebody else on another matter. And guess what? My tank is at a fourth. I don't like it being at a fourth. Now, would somebody go, excuse me, could you go and put gas in my car for me? They're going to say no. Now, what do I do with that? Do I use profanity against him? How dare you not go put gas in my car? He's just told me no. So guess what? As an adult, I got to figure it out. That's it. You got to figure it out. And your figuring it out is, let me get angry with somebody and use profanity against them. And maybe they'll then become so afraid of something and say, okay, we'll do that for you. Not his job. And I can tell you right now, if you don't start treating people with respect, one, you're not going to get anywhere, because when you disrespect people, they don't want to help you.
And I'm just
And number two,
with respect.
no, you did not. That's the thing. You're still in this clouds. Like these are not, I don't know how your relationships are outside of this world. But in this world, you need to treat people with respect, whether you respect them or not. Like right now, you can hate my guts all you want to, but you had better say, Your Honor or Judge. You understand? You better not be calling me out of my given name. And you better not be calling probation officers out of your given name. I'm sure he told you, no, I cannot help you. And when somebody says, no, I cannot help you with something, maybe you want to ask them again. You ask them again. If you ask the third time, you're begging. And he's already told you he can't help you with that. That is not his job. That is outside his job description. If he decides to help you outside of his job description, just him being nice. You need to figure it out. The same way people have children and you figured out how to have children, you need to figure out how to get the rest of your life together. You're on probation because of your actions. And honestly, the reports I received, I will tell you, when I received that report, I told them, file a motion to revoke. And then probation came to me and said, Judge, could we do a compliance hearing and have her come in? And I'm like, yeah, if you all want to do a compliance hearing, we will do a compliance hearing. So this is the last time I'm having this conversation with you, telling you, you need to be respectful to people and you need to learn how to problem solve. How old are you?
33.
You're 33-year-old. You figured out how to get all of those piercings, right? You figured out how to get the nails. You figured all of that out on your own. You need to figure this out on your own. Is there anything else you need from me?
No.
And are you employed?
You told me I had 30 days to find a job. I had a business, but all my stuff is gone.
All right, so that'll be a no. So, Miss Ferguson?
Yeah.
Recall her for the week of August 11th, and I'm going to see how you're doing on probation. What date?
I can do that Monday, the 11th.
All right, so you're coming back on August 11th for me to get a report on what's going on. All right, so if you all could give her a list of places for her to find housing. And then we're going to come back on August 11th. And by August 11th, you need to have the GPS on. All right, thank you. And the persons who are here for the VTC, please.
The judge denies the motion to revoke, keeps Holmes on probation, but adds stricter conditions: GPS monitoring, anger management, full-time employment, no contact with the landlord, and a warning that another violation could mean up to 10 years in prison. If this case shocked you, hit like, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more courtroom breakdowns.